Hey, so what's up everybody? It's Paul Shakuri here with another door-to-door mastery video. Now in this video, we're going to uncover a lot of information about, well, quite simply, door-to-door sales. Do you got what it takes to be a powerful door-to-door salesperson? Do you want to become a top-notch door-to-door salesperson? Well, why would you even want to? Stay tuned. I got a lot of information just for you. Okay, so welcome to another video. And by the way, this video I'm going to be uncovering and unlocking some more of your guys' questions. Just as I quickly open up my email, I'm going to randomly be picking some videos, and we may go on to the actual whiteboard itself to get onto there if I feel like I need to describe some more stuff to you. And if so, well, we'll just touch upon that bad boy. It's a little bit inside the working office that we got going on. Okay, first of all, I see Jose Rivera actually messaged me, said, Paul, I really appreciate and respect you. I have been so comfortable doing MLS and for so many years that I need to step out of the box, and I don't have a clue how to. Anything you can do to help me and my guys will definitely be help. Yeah, so first of all, Jose, if you're doing MLS listings, I mean, for those of you who don't know what MLS listings are, that's basically homes that get sold, he means. They basically, when they're sold, you can get the actual lead that this house just got sold so that you can go and sell them services. Now, why do people like MLS listings? Well, plain and simple, they like that because when somebody moves in, it's typically known that they tend to like to buy because it's a new property, because it's just new in general. They like to spend because it's just new to them. And yeah, that's real. Yeah, that happens. But here's the pros and cons to that. And as a matter of fact, let's jump to the board on that one. Okay, so you're talking about, let me just dive on in here. So we're going into MLS. And as a matter of fact, this might be good for a lot of you who don't know about this or are actually thinking of doing this. When you're dealing with MLS listings, number one, the cons, I would say, is you're limited. Okay? You're limited to what? Well, how many leads? And by the way, people call this leads. Again, it's all questionable. Is it a lead to you that somebody just moved in? Do you like going and saying that, hey, they're probably going to spend more because of it? But also remember, okay, so the cons of this is, number one, you're limited to the number of people you can talk to that just moved in that neighborhood. Number two, I need you to understand another con of the actual MLS listings is how many people, okay, so competition, how many of your competitors, because remember, if you think you're so special to get MLS listings quicker than anybody else and you can close before somebody else does, all the best to you, but the reality is you're not the smartest guy on the block who's the only person getting these actual, aka what you may call, which I don't, leads, okay? So you're battling with competition. And I remember back when I was knocking in new construction homes, yeah, I can get in there, but those people typically would bargain with you, okay? They would bargain, negotiate. They know that they're a hot commodity. Wait a second, I just moved in and all of a sudden I'm getting telemarketers. I'm also getting door knockers coming to my house. I'm in control here. So at the end of the day, what does it mean to your pipeline and how much money you're going to make on that sale? More than likely it's going to be less, okay? Now, I get it. You can upsell them. You can get somebody's interest. But like, the third thing I would have to say, which is a con of doing MLS listing, is the fact that it's so spread out, okay? These three cons, honestly, to me, said that's not something that I'm personally interested in building wealth in. As you guys know, my whole agenda for you guys, for myself when I first started off knocking, is to have 6 figs. And that was my big thing. It was making 6 figs. I wanted to have $100,000 plus generated every single year. And this just, for me, wasn't the best. I noticed there was just so much competition, all that. Now, can you make money with it? Is it a terrible thing? No, but is it the best thing? Here on the Door-to-Door Mastery show, we talk about what is best. And personally, I'm just totally against it all to get what? A buyer, okay? All to just get an actual buyer? Are all these cons really to get a buyer? The number one thing I hate is the limited. I don't like being limited to the number of people I talk to. I don't like going and maybe I'm just not, and yes, even by the way, if I like sometimes knock on a door, and it's rare, but it does happen, I'm just not flowing. I'm just not awake. I'm just not alert on that door. I don't like burning that one lead and knowing that, it's nothing really much next in the pipeline. I'm limited to 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 people in this area. So you'll have a person here, her. And it messes with you. It messes with you that they're spread up all over the place. Now, you asked me for advice on this. That's my personal advice. However, I also want to let you know that if you are still stuck on this MLS and you want to do that, do it by all means. But guess what? You go to a neighborhood, set up your appointments so that they're at least, I'd say, 2 hours of knocking in between appointments, 1 to 2 hours. So let's just say this is in one city, and here you have another city that you actually are knocking on for your second lead. So we'll call it lead MLS lead number 1, MLS lead number 2, L2, so MLS lead 2. So you'll go here, okay? You will knock on this door, this lead, you'll talk to, you'll whatever, and then after that, you'll have 2 hours to knock all the homes around it. Using my methods, folks, you want buyers? Guess what? Stop trying to find the easiest, most simplest way to get a buyer, because the reality is the most easiest, simple way to get a buyer is to turn a person who you talk to into a buyer. And the methods I teach you guys in my MasterDDD.com program is literally to get you designed so that every person you talk to who's your potential avatar can turn into a sale, because you brew them into a buyer. Do you want to make the big bucks? Guess what? Brew them. Don't try to always take the shortcut. And that's where a lot of people are failing at these days. And especially with all this automation, which, by the way, as you guys know, I'm all about automation. My FilQuick software is all about automation, but automating your business. Still, you have to understand that when you're knocking on doors, you can be all slick and, finding out where everybody is and plotting out, who is home, not interested. That's great. But at the end of the day, you got to work those leads. You got to work those people. You got to grind. You got to hustle. So the best part is to work in between. Give yourself 2 hours so that after you're done there, guess what's going to be a refresher? Beautiful. I only got 2 hours to knock the turf over here before I go to another one to knock on. Then after you go to that second neighborhood, you go work that lead, guess what happens? Then you work 2 more hours around there, and the cycle continues. Oh, wait a second, Paul. You're saying that's 2 hours, that's 4 hours there, 1 hour in here, 5 hours plus 1 hour there is 6 hours? Dude, 6 hours is nothing. Are you a badass closer, closing 5 to 6 to, yes, even 10 deals in a day? That's what I would close. I wasn't the guy who just sat back and expected money to be made. 6 hours is nothing. You got to knock those doors to acquire those skills so that you can get comfortable and confident. But why are you going to do that? Because what does this mean to you? What does it mean to ultimately have that 6-figure income coming in so that you can reinvest it and go and, I was having a discussion today with one of my clients and one of my very good friends who's a client as well about private lending. He's like, Paul, have you ever thought about private lending? I'm like, what's that? He's like, well, with your cash flow, with the amount of money you have, you can go and put your money out there. People can pay you interest just like a bank on a smaller scale. I'm like, whoa, this is a new world. And a lot of you, I always say this, I'm not a smart investor at all. I'm just a really hard worker and a grinder. So I have a bunch of mentors in my life now who are teaching me this. Guys, it started off from this. Why do I get passionate about it? Guys and gals, I get passionate about this stuff because I want you there as well. And guess what? I ain't going to stop until I get you there. But who's you? Who will I get there? Who will I help get there? Guess what? The people I'm going to help get there are the people who are going to dedicate their time and effort and actually listen and learn this stuff. Because once you start learning this stuff and implementing it, life changes. But guess what? Implement it. What does implement mean? It means to do it over and over again, not just to try it once. See, doing it once is called trying. You're not implementing it if you're trying it. Implement it means you make it, you trust first of all in who is mentoring you, and then on top of it, after you put that trust in the mentoree, you're then going and applying this stuff on a day-to-day basis and consistently seeing the results. Those of you who are commenting on this YouTube channel saying, Paul, thank you so much. The stuff has worked. God bless you, and thank you so much for putting that comment out. By the way, this is probably a good time to say, hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to set that notification, click that little bell, so that every time I make one of these videos, whether you're on turf or you're at nighttime, you gotta be watching it. The more you surround yourself around this community of entrepreneur mindset, door knocking, literally brain, whatever you want to call it, the better you will actually get at it. So I hope that made sense for you. Let's go take a look at another question that's going to be coming in right over here. That came in over here. All right. So Brenda right over here says, hey Paul, I'm with cable and internet sales company. Sales are lucrative as technology and competition, advance increases. I had mediocre sales the last several months. Winter in Ohio is a little difficult too. Our product has higher value content, but adage of it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even with all the added perks, including a 30-day money-back guarantee, granted, I have only been in sales for just under a year, so I know I'm still learning and growing. So first of all, to talk about the winter, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I knocked in literally minus 50, 60 with wind chills, and I love the winter knocking. Compared to knocking in 100 and 110 degrees Arizona, complete opposites, I love the cold better. Why? Well, first of all, both are awesome. Number one, when I was knocking in Arizona and it was extremely hot, I didn't have any bodysuit that can actually keep me nice and cool. There's no bodysuit that can keep you cool, as opposed to in the winter when I'm knocking on minus 60, guess what I can do? Put on a nice jacket, a coat that can actually keep me warm. And guess what? In the winter, when I'm knocking, what's awesome is a lot of people will open the door and either come outside and be freezing themselves and say, do you want to come on in? Or ask, hey, I'm not a crook or in any part. I get it. Your heat is actually pumping out. Do you mind if we just step in for a second? These methods, which I do go into and teach in other videos, also in my actual MasterDDD.com program. Yes, that's another plugin. And yes, I'm going to continue to plug it until you buy it, until you actually go through the course and you say, holy crap, finally, I actually did get it. And on top of it, now I'm having the success. And I'm proud about that. I'll say it confidently because it will change your door knocking career. So how do you get reframed after 100 doors with 0 sales and then 2 cancellations for service? Well, I'll tell you, first of all, you need to understand why you are getting that. Why are you getting these cancels? What's going on? And again, I'm going to plug it in, but in my MasterDDD.com program, I go over that. Do you have that yet, Brenda? If you don't have that, I'm telling you, throw it on a credit card, and guess what? You have 30 days on your credit card to pay it. Well, if my program will not make that back and more within 30 days because you didn't implement it, because you literally didn't watch it over and over again, then something massively is wrong, and I assure you, it's massively wrong. So I go into that, and basically what it is, it's your reassurance phase. You're not properly reassuring the customer why they did business with you, and on top of why they did business with you, they didn't feel comfortable and confident that they made the right decision. So it's important that you learn that step. But to be knocking on 100 doors, and if you're not selling like a high-end, high-ticket item, you haven't acquired the personal skills to be able to build that relationship. And by the way, search my YouTube channel for my live opener pitch, my live opener engagement. My live opener pitch webinar, and then I also did a live one on engagement. So just search for that. The engagement one is what you're lacking. Because to be talking to 100 people and not closing, you're just not getting that personal engagement. So that's the hardest part for me, staying positive and focused. For me, that's the easiest part. Because why? I just don't agree, and I don't believe on it doesn't work for somebody. Okay, and I've proven this over and over again because it's a reality. things can work for anybody. It's just you have to make it work. You got to figure out what works for you, what works for your personality. And once you figure those things out, that's when things start to change. Well, when you're out there and you're not so confident that you're going to get a sale, when you're knocking on a door and your belief is like, I've gone a whole day without getting a sale. More than likely, this is going to be another day. And you start to doubt yourself. Well, of course you're not going to get a sale, because here's what happens. I'm going to give you a little bit about this. You knock on a door and somebody comes out and they reject you a bit. Nah, you know what? We're just not interested. In your head, your brain slowly goes, this is what everybody's been telling me subconsciously. See, there's a conscious level and a subconscious level. Subconsciously, your brain goes, hey, I've seen this before. And literally, since I've seen this before, what does that mean? At the end of the day, what this means is I'm not going to get this deal. And since I'm not going to get this deal, there's no point in me going through that interconnected web inside my mind, such as going through these objections, because this person's more than likely not going to buy. And you don't use more of your true potential. However, if you knew, listen, everybody at the end of the day is going to give you excuses as to why they can't buy. Even with you guys, even Brenda, I'll call you out. Why don't you have my door-to-door mastery program yet? Why don't you have it? I haven't done a good enough job in selling you on it. And guess what? That's what I'm working on. These videos that are going to be consistently coming out, it's to prove to you guys more and more that my shit works. And if you implement and actually listen to it, it'll be no-brainer for you to jump onto my door-to-door mastery program. That's a reality. It'll be a no-brainer for you to buy my active knocker. We've crushed our beta users, and we hit the max to where now a lot of people are like, hey, can I get a beta account? I'm like, dude, that's been like how long? It's been, go look at the, over a month, and now you're coming to me? I know, I just was slowly slacking, blah, blah, blah. Great. Well, it's over. We only closed that out for a certain amount of people. So it only gets, as you can see with anything in life, more expensive, more difficult, the longer you wait. So what are you freaking waiting for? Okay? Note that. Most of you, your problem is you take too freaking long to act. I'm talking too long to think about even going out there and working. And then not only that, it's like when you get to turf, you keep thinking about, oh shit, what am I going to do in order to, or which door should I knock on, or which neighborhood should I knock on? Dude, my mentality is throw me out. I'll figure it out. Guess what? Picture you're a little fish in a sea, and I take you out and I throw you into another sea. You're going to find a way to survive. And this is no different with door-to-door mastery. You know, my family always said, Paul, you're like a fish. I can always take you out of one ocean, put you into another, whether it's a sea or an ocean, and you will survive. And guess what? That skill alone has helped and developed and brewed from what? Knocking on doors. Folks, if you don't believe currently at the given moment that door knocking will ultimately change your life, you got to change that. You're not just knocking on doors for that six-figure income that right over there that I wrote on the board. You're knocking for more than that. That's one portion of it. What it turns you into and what you become is yet another reason why you need to really understand that going out as a true entrepreneur is door knocking, is what door knocking is all about. And by the way, I commented, you can find it on one of the videos. It pops up on my phone that when people, I've had homeowners of that you guys are knocking on actually comment on the channel saying, oh, get a real job. And then some guy commented as well, hey, question mark, what is a real job? So, hey, look in the comments, start commenting, get a little bit more interactive with me. More videos to come. This is Paul Shakuri with Door-to-Door Mastery. I love you all, and until the next video, peace out, and I'll see you. Subscribe, and oh, by the way, in the description, don't forget, click on that dang link. If you don't have my free door-to-door mastery, my free video series, which by the way is hours of content, you have to freaking grab it. Click on the link in the description. If you're too lazy to do that, you don't deserve to be on this channel. Peace. I'm out.